Hi guys, and welcome back to another episode of Rebuilding Stockport, our first in the Premier League. It's finally happened. Now then, I've got to address the elephant in the room, other than me. And that is, last season I said this. How about this when we hit the Prem transfer special in pimp attire? So, if we get promoted this year, the next season's transfer window episode might have to be in a pimp costume. So, I am nothing if not a man of my words, so I present to you the transfer pimp. Et voila, we're back. Yeah, there's a feather in this hat, although I believe the feather might have just fallen off the feather has already fallen off of the hat. This is some quality produce right here. Now, I was going to wear an undershirt with this because it only has one button, so I'm going to have to make sure that I keep the camera angle just about here. Otherwise, well, you know, banned from YouTube. So quick question, is this a thing I have to do every transfer window now, or is this just a one-off? Because this hat is enormously cumbersome, I gotta say. That being said, jacket and trousers, surprisingly comfortable. Right then, it has been an incredibly big summer for us. As you can imagine, we got 25 mil in transfer funds. I was able to negotiate with the board a little bit and actually up that to nearly 30, and I kind of needed to in a way. I have signed a lot of players, like a metric buttload of players. And I've also made possibly the biggest mistake that I think I've ever made in all of my years on YouTube. So look forward to that in a minute. But first, a bit of admin from the end of last season. Firstly, John Okoro won Player of the Year. Not a huge surprise there. I was Manager of the Year. I think he also won Young Player of the Year too, so what a season for Johnny O. I also wanted to tell you about Norwich's run to the playoff final, because in the semi-final against West Brom, they won the first leg 1-0 at West Brom, and in the second leg, they ended up winning it 4-3 in extra time, so 5-3 in total. But all four of Norwich's goals in that game came after the 90th minute, which is absolutely mental. They scored 2 goals in stoppage time to pull things back and actually take it to extra time, then scored 2 more in extra time, which is outrageous. However, they did then lose 5-0 in the Championship playoff final to Bristol City, who join us in the Premier League this year. So it's us, Bristol City and Fulham all went up. Massive. I'm really pleased for Bristol City. I have a soft spot for them now. This didn't go in my sub box. That's 2 episodes in a row. Right, okay, so this has been happening a lot more this last week. The only thing I can literally think of to find a way to keep track of the videos is, obviously they're every day at 6 for the most part, so there's that, but I know that's still a pain when it doesn't actually go in the sub box. So I tweet them out every day, so if you don't follow me on Twitter, you could do that. They get automatically posted in the Discord as well, and if you want to, you could do the YouTube thing and turn on notifications, and I think that will help it as well. But that's really all I can think of other than YouTube actually fixing their system. But let's face it, hell will freeze over before that happens. I will become an actual pimp before that happens. The other thing I've done, I know I'm starting on this screen, so I don't spoil anything. I literally couldn't think of another screen to show you that didn't spoil stuff. We are starting off today. Our first game of the season is away at the King Power Stadium against Leicester City. So a reasonable game. They were promoted last year, so maybe there's a chance there. I don't know. We'll see. But I took your guys' advice about work permits, and I thought it was Belgium because it always used to be, but I've taken your guys' advice on board, and I've actually managed to get both the things I wanted. So the first thing is we've got an affiliate partner with Polish club Stal Mielec. Now, again, please let me know how that's pronounced. It's probably Miłec. I'm not really sure. Point is, we've got a Polish partner because apparently Poland and Serbia, you only need 3 years. So I've already sent Roland Kipre out on loan there. And also, we've got a partner with a Spanish club whose name I've now forgotten. Point is, they're a third-tier Spanish side, and now we can get South American players, potentially send them there for 2 years to get their work permits, which is very, very nice. So 2 new affiliate partners, and the perfect ones for us, which I'm very, very pleased with. However, we did have a work permit issue with a player over the summer, and I'm so annoyed about it. It could have been the key to our season, but we don't get him. But anyway, more on that in a minute. The only signing that's actually left us on a permanent deal is Ger O'Driscoll. You remember I brought him in a few years ago. I think he cost us £2,000. Well, he's gone to Burnley for 375 grand, rising to 600,000 with a 50% of next sale fee clause. I didn't think he was ever going to get in our team, and I figured if we can make $500,000 on this guy, then that's a good deal. And we could always, you know, we've got the clause in their contract, so for all we know, he could earn us another $1 million down the line. And I was quite pleased with that. So, signings. We're going to start with the free ones and sort of work our way up to my colossal mistake. You're going to like this, or not at the same time. So firstly, it's Chris Cox. He's an 18-year-old centre-back. He was released by Chelsea in the summer. We picked him up on a free transfer. I couldn't really say no. Solid enough player, had the decent potential. He's a reasonable player at the back for us, so I thought we'll bring him in because I really did want to strengthen the defence. That was one of the key areas that I was determined to try and strengthen, and it's not gone as well as I'd hoped because, unfortunately, a lot of the players that would have strengthened us either wanted too much money, even with our new wage budget, or they just wouldn't join us because our rep is so low. You have no idea. Next free transfer is Sam Law, who was released by Manchester City. Again, just sort of players I'm picking up for free. They're not on huge amounts of money, particularly now as a Premier League side, just to sort of bolster bolster our attacking options. You know, he's a 3-star player, which still ain't too bad, frankly. 6'5" as well, a massive lump of a man up top that could definitely win us some headers and stuff if he was to come into the team, and he's still only 18, you know? Next up is Arnau Puimal. I don't know if that's how you pronounce it or not. He's basically come in to be a sort of auxiliary backup centre midfielder to the sort of players that we've already got. The main reason I was interested in him, frankly, is he's got a great first touch, great passing, decent vision, and 15 long shots, which does make me think that we might be able to ping a few with him. Not the greatest physicals, though, and not super tall, but, you know, again, for free, I couldn't really turn him down. He's not on a load of money either for the Premier League, remember? And the final free transfer is Zé Maria, who a lot of you might recognise, because I'm pretty certain he hasn't played for Portugal. I swear they used to have another guy that had a very similar name. Point is, I wanted a backup to John Okoro on that right-hand side, but I didn't really know if I wanted to go for someone young or someone a bit older. But when the opportunity to sign someone like Zé Maria came up, because he was released by Verona, I jumped on it, frankly, because I thought, you know what? He's got decent stats. Look at that. Like crossing, dribbling, first touch, passing, technique, all the key stats that I want from a winger, he has got in abundance. And he's only on nearly £4,000 a week, and he's worth £9 million. And we got him for free. Like, this to me is one of the biggest deals we've done over the course of the summer. He's got that extra experience. I think he is a very, very good backup to John Okoro on that right-hand side, and he will do brilliantly for us this year, hopefully anyway. Next up is Arif Misic, who is another Bosnian youngster. I know, I can't stop finding them. You know, he's fine. He's got 16 tackling, he's 6'4", decent heading. Well, actually, his heading is the weakest part, but he's got such good jumping reach and height that it might not even matter that much. I think he's got real potential to be a monster one day, and that's fine, because he's not bought for now, he's for later. And there's been a lot of that. He cost us 100 grand from Mostar. So really, £100,000 for this guy. Can't say no. Next up, Carlos Toril. I said I was looking at him. We looked at him in the summer. He plays for Hercules de Alicante, or he did rather. Signed for us, £275,000. I thought he was a reasonable backup to give us a third option in that central role. So we got Gribin, Fazic, and now Toril. Next up is Nemanja Boskovic, a Serbian 18-year-old centre midfielder. Now, I didn't really want to sign centre mids, but at the start of the window, I just found myself signing a ton of them because there were some really good ones available, and we started to get a bit thin in that position with the lack of Magoma. You know, we only really had Booty and Davidson that could actually play in there. So this is Nemanja Boskovic. He is, again, one for the future, really, but he's only cost us, I think, £400,000. He's a resolute personality. He's got decent-ish physicals for that. Dictates tempo, decent passing, decent vision as well, good anticipation, composure. The stats I want for a deep-line playmaker, he has got, and that's kind of what I'm interested in, and good dribbling too. So I think Nemanja Boskovic could be another solid signing for us. Next up is Josef Bajza. Now, this is a strange one. I genuinely think this is possibly one of our best pieces of business of the entire summer. He's come in from Trenchin, which is fine, but he's a perfectionist, which I love. He's got decent physicals for the most part, like a few little things a bit iffy in pace, but 16 pace, decent acceleration, agility, runs with the ball down the right. He's a complete forward, but look at this, 14 dribbling, 15 finishing, 13 first touch, 17 heading. He's 6 foot tall, decent passing, decent vision, great teamwork, is determined. So many things I love about this guy. £575,000 this guy cost us. Next up is Elverdin Kubat, the Pokemon player. Now, obviously, I showed you guys him in the previous window, I think, as well. Professional personality, decent. Again, another Bosnian. I think he might be the 4th or 5th Bosnian that has joined the club, but they're just cranking out talent lately. Now we're starting to veer into me spending a bit more money territory. This was, again, still one for the future, but I still think he could do a decent job for us if called upon, frankly. And we do still have Juro back on loan, remember. Haven't really made as many loan signings because we were actually trying to get some permanents in. But he signed on the final day of the transfer window, which is already shut. I got 3 deals done on the final day of the transfer window, and I nearly signed Brahim Diaz on loan from Norwich, but the deal fell through. But this is Piero Bellina. I think he's pretty damn good, frankly, for an 18-year-old. He's coming from Cremonese. His physicals aren't quite there yet, but decent dribbling, 16 finishing, decent heading. He's only 5'9", though, so he's not really that type of player for us. Still a long way to go in improving him. He's not got great passing and vision. He's more of a poacher, but I feel like for 1.2 million, we could definitely make our money on this deal. And that's what I wanted to do with him. Now, you might be wondering, what about centre-backs? What about defenders? Well, don't worry, we have signed a load of those too. This is Cardo Makengo. He's coming from Metz for, I think, £3.3 million. So this is where the big money's starting to be spent here. He's 6'5". He's got unbelievable physicals, though he is 22, so there's still a lot more to improve from him. 12 heading, 14 marking, 11 tackling's not great, but when you actually look at his stats for that role, like, apart from his bravery and composure, he's got good aggression, good decisions, good determination, good positioning. There's a lot of things I like about Cardo Makengo, and I think he'll be a pretty solid partner to John Gray for the meantime. We've got a much better backup situation there too, with lots of room to improve for this guy still. Next up, it's a fullback. It's Ivan Dimitrov, who's come in from Ludogorets for, I think, £3.9 million. I really wanted someone that could push in that position, and this guy is a pace merchant. 18 acceleration, 17 pace, great natural fitness. He's 5'11". He's got 9 crossing and 11 dribbling, so pretty solid down that position. Not a huge amount better, but he's got better physicals. Marking, passing, tackling. He's better at the defensive side of the game as well, I think, than Vashon Nerfil. He's still only 21, but has 25 caps for Bulgaria. He's on a lot more money, 16 grand a week, but for £3.9 million, I still think it's a solid deal. Next up is our right-sided player. This is Branimir Katic-Kaniski. Now, we got a bit screwed in terms of his current ability on this one. He was rated at 4 stars when we were looking at him, which is why I was mainly interested in him. But I still think he's decent. He's got much better crossing than Ethan Laird, or certainly better than Ethan Laird, and a lot more potential in the bag, I think. So he's cost us £4.4 million to come in from Hajduk Split. Yep, there's more. This is Morgan Roussel. Now, this one, yeah, very, very interested in, because he is, obviously he's French, so, and he's only 16 years old. He's joined us from Nîmes, but he's 16, but has really decent physicals already, and he's got 17 heading already, 14 marking and 12 tackling. He, as much as he is one for the future, he could easily do a job this season for us too, with anticipation of 16. There's a lot to like about Morgan Roussel. He's still on barely any money because he's still technically on a youth contract at the moment, but he will sign properly, I think, once he turns 7. I don't really know how that works. He's on international duty at the moment with France, with the under-23s, to give you an idea. He's signed for £5 million, but I think $5 million for this guy is actually a really decent piece of business long term. And now comes to the mistake, because you might be thinking, Matt, you had £30 million. Where did the money go? So essentially, I signed a player. I found a player. I signed a player. The deal took bloody ages to go through. We get to the final day of the season. Not the final day of the season, final day of the window. The deal goes through. I'm like, yes! Let's get this guy in, because there was 3 deals that went through. They all went through, and I was like, he's signed the club. He's joined the club. Where's the notification for this new guy joining the club, who we've just broken our transfer record by a lot to sign? Oh, yeah. He's 17, and he can't join us until he's 18. Our record signing isn't going to be able to join us for a year. Yeah, I did that. And here he is. This is Talha Kaymak. He's a 17-year-old Turkish centre-back. I don't even think he was worth the money that we've paid for him. He's joining us next summer. 14 heading, 15 marking, 15 tackling. He is very good. Like, let's not take anything away from him. He has fantastic stats for a 17-year-old Turk. But I'd totally forgotten that we weren't able to sign Turkish players until they turned 18. Which is why it's a bit embarrassing that we dropped nearly £14 million on him. And I think I made a mistake there too, because that was his release clause, but I still think they were willing to accept less, and I wasn't paying attention. I still think he's fantastic. Like, those are incredible stats for a 17-year-old, and he's only going to get better. But the fact that we don't get him for a year is a slight issue, and that's totally on me, and laugh it up is all I can really say on that one. I think he will be brilliant for us next season. So be sure to drop any rumours about any of these new players into the comments. I will be looking forward to getting stuck into those massively. Right, we have a game against Leicester today. Let's get into that. Now, obviously we're going to adjust things around. I've been massively rotating the side during the preseason just to try and build stuff up. The other thing is, I've been looking at what you guys have been saying about tactics and how we can maybe improve things. Like, potentially, obviously we don't know how things are going to go this year, because I do believe that personnel was a main feature of why we started doing badly, because the game didn't change. The tactics didn't change. The only thing that changed was the personnel. So I'm putting it down to potentially that. However, we do have some options. One option is potentially moving both of these guys back to DM roles, but then changing their roles so they get further forward, but it still gives us more of a screen to prevent the long shots. It's an idea. And the other one involves changing around some of these roles as well. The other thing I should have done is when we switched to this system, we should have been using a deep line forward on support, but we weren't, which is why we were getting so isolated. Davidson and Kubat in the middle. Dimitrov, Basic and Gray. Do I really want Basic? I think we'll go Makengo and Katic-Kaniski there. So a lot of the new players are joining the club. They're in the team. They're in and around the squad, but it's nice to have a much, much bigger squad now. So Bizer, Miller, Gribben, Okoro, Kubat, Davidson, Dimitrov, Makengo, Gray, Katic-Kaniski, we need a nickname for him, and Molden on the bench. Bryn, Cox, Hunter, Borlina, Grimshaw, Fazic, and Greg Stubbs. I might change that, actually. I know it's a lot of youngsters. That's just the way I play the game. Anyone who's watched the channel for a while now will know that's how I do things. But also, we don't have a lot of choice a lot of the time. So, you know, that's what we've been able to do over the summer. I'm pleased with the business overall. I need to make some faces, get some faces for some of these guys too. But I do think that it's still going to be a very, very difficult season for us. But I'm prepared to go with this system for today because it's Leicester. It's one of the games that we might have to target to try and get some points. This is going to be a damn tough season. Some of the players aren't even fully up to match fitness yet. And Okoro's already bombing through people, and he's already won us a corner inside 15 seconds. Go on, Johnny. I want to see who's going to score our first Premier League goal. Gribben's free kick again. Whips it across, and it's Oh, yes! Joseph Beiser scores at the King Power. Newly promoted Stockport lead at Leicester City after 9 minutes. Joseph Beiser, 9 minutes onto his debut, the 18-year-old Slovenian scores from a free kick. Lovely assist from Callum Gribbin. We lead 1-0 at the King Power. Yes! And by the way, we do have some kits on the way. They're just not quite ready yet, so don't worry. We will have Premier League kits soon too. Berkovic. Now then, do we try and stay strong? I'm tempted to stick with this system for now and just sort of watch some of the games and see how we do against these types of opposition, you know? Rafa. This is the thing, because they're going to cut into these middle areas. We need to make sure we can try and stop them. Oh, wow. Al-Sharawi! And it's an instant equaliser directly from the kickoff. Yet again, it's an instant equaliser. I don't know how to stop that. Like, we concede a lot of these goals directly from the kickoff. And you cannot change the tactics in that time. El-Shaarawy's in. It's number 92. Leicester 1, Stockport 1, and we're instantly back level in the match. Great. Beiser's damaged his foot. We'll see. We'll see how that pans out. It's been pretty even so far, to be fair. Svensson. Clear. Oh, not cleared. Watch out, edge of the box here, guys. Davies. Get out to him. Lukaku. Oh, he's all the way through. He's all the way through. Jordan Lukaku all the way through. Leicester 2, Stockport 1. The early goal was a bit of a false dawn for us. I think Katic-Kaniski got absolutely caught out the back there. I wish John Okoro had tracked back a little bit, but unfortunately when you've got a winger on attack, they don't really do that. He does go past him like he's not even there, I have to say. It's not exactly the best effort, and now we're 2-1 down inside 10 minutes from going in front. Okay, there we go. This is why it's helpful when he does that. But it's also a negative in many areas. Miller, it's through for Beiser. And it's saved by Swain. We look solid on the break. Try and play on the break a little bit more. Rafa's ball in, headed away. Right, here we go. Breakaway again. We need to pile players forward when we get these opportunities. Miller. Okoro's trying to get there. And actually, Beiser's got a good touch. And he's had another shot at Swain. At least he's getting into opportunities now. Goes back for Davidson. Can he slip one through for Okoro, maybe? Saved by Swain. We're still fighting our own battles here, you know? Okay, not the best first half. We scored early, but Beiser's not really been the same since the injury. I might just drop Okoro back to support a little bit. And Davidson onto defend. Just to give us a bit more potential on this side here, and Beiser I think he's going to have to come off. But we are going to go to counter press though. We've done okay in this second half in fairness to us. Fazic, he's got men dodging forward. One of them is Zimaria's through. He's through. Can he score? No, he can't. Swain with the save. He's got men creeping forward here. Borlina. He's going to have to. Oh, Gribbin's through. Yes! Callum Gribbin at the King Power Stadium. What a performance from him today. Leicester City 2, Stockport County 2. Can we hang on for the draw? That being said, we're playing so well at the moment. Can we maybe go on and get the winner here? Maria, wonderful work here to cut through. Borlina holds the ball up brilliantly. Gribbin makes a wonderful run. He's on the edge of the area and he just drills it home. He could potentially be on for a man of the match performance. Right, what do we do from here? Do we keep going? Literally, the moment we've scored, it's just been all Leicester again. Al-Shaarawy. Oh, no, he's going to score easy here. What a save. Right, okay. We're going to cautious for the final few minutes of this match. Leicester are clearly trying to battle us through, so we want to switch to cautious, try and catch them on the break, maybe. Gray. Oh, Leicester are down to 10 men, but so are we, because Andy Dave... That's 3 injuries in the first game of the season. Are you having a laugh? Cleared away, and that's surely it. Surely. We're into the 9th minute of stoppage time in this match now. Lukaku, can we please finish the match? Gray clears it, and that's full time. Leicester 2, Stockport County 2. Goals from Joseph Beiser and Callum Gribbin pull us out the bag there. Weirdly, we got better when we got more aggressive in that second half, and I do wonder if that's an approach that we could maybe take going forward and stop being so ponderous on the ball. If we're going to attack, we might as well do it. I think last season we'd have gone for that and ended up losing it 4-2 in the end, but I think just being a little bit more conservative and taking points where we find them is what's going to keep us in the Premier League this year. Sprained knee ligaments for Andy Davison, 6 weeks. Beiser, 3 weeks. Miller, 3 days. So we've already lost 2 of our star players in the first match of the season. I can already tell this is going to be an intense year. Fulham losing 7-1 on the opening day. That's our key thing. We're going to try and not get beat big by the big sides. We're going to try and set up to defend and just try and pinch things. To do a double live com next of maybe just Stoke and Spurs. Just to try and mix things up a little bit. Because obviously with the Premier League there's less matches, so we can do a little bit less and a little bit more in certain times. But I know you guys will want to see a double live com, get as much Premier League action as possible. So we'll do Manchester City off camera, come back for Stoke and Spurs, both away from home as well. 3 of our first 4 Premier League games are going to be away from home. We're going to have to set up more defensively against Tottenham and City and just see how we do. I might even try the 2 DM idea against one of these. Maybe against Spurs? I don't know, we'll see. Anyway, if you've enjoyed this and you're looking forward to the new season, and I hope you are, because I think a 2-all draw there is respectable, and it's these points that are going to keep us up at the end of the year, drop a like. That would be fantastic. I don't care how many we get, at least 2. That would be brilliant. And if you're new to the channel and you want to see more of this, I don't know if this will be back next year. I guess we'll find out. I've got to get some use out of this. Then yeah, subscribe to the channel for more of this in your inbox every single day at 6, and I'll join you guys in the next episode for a double live comm of Stoke and Spurs. Are those 2 games? No, they aren't. That's fine. We're getting £1 million for the Stoke game because it's on TV. I love the Premier League. I'll see you guys soon. Thanks so much for watching. Bye-bye.